he talked about that it's not backups, but it says it just ensures that data isn't removed from the service. And he then alludes to the fact that people of my ilk will suggest, well, the problem with that is that an admin, a malicious actor, could go in and change your retention policy and thus delete everything, right? You could create a retention policy of 0, move everybody into that retention policy, and suddenly all their email is deleted. And you know how we know that that's possible?
Because it happens.
Because it happened. There is a giant story
Oh, I
back
remember we did
in,
this. Yeah.
yeah, that was the story, August 2020. And they it was KPMG. They created a policy. It was an accident, but that's what backups are for.
Yep.
Right? Is they created a retention, they needed to delete one particular person's data, so they created it, but they already had a retention policy that said that data is retained for 90 days or whatever. And so they created a retention policy that said 0, and then they were supposed to move that user into that retention policy, and instead they moved everybody into the
Everyone.
retention policy,
Yep.
and thus deleted 145,000 users' personal chats. Um,
Ouch.
and while I will just say that a lot of backup providers don't back up personal chats, right? But they and the reason for that is that Microsoft does not provide an API to get that data. And this does prove the point that retention policies are not perfect,
Foolproof.
right?
Yeah.
And they would, of course, tout the that you can turn on preservation. And if you turn on the preservation, I think it's called, let's see here, preservation lock. If you turn on preservation lock, even if a bad actor goes in and shortens all your retention down to 0, that will only apply to data for the future, not
Yeah.
data from the past.
And
The only I'll just finish. The only problem with that is people that have turned on preservation lock then suddenly find out how much data it takes up, and then they're like, "Holy cow!" And
they can't do
they end
anything.
up, and they can, but they can't fix it,
Yeah.
right?
And
Good restore.